Grand Line, first half, each kingdom, island, village, at this moment all broke up. The huge news swept every corner, becoming the only headline that no one could ignore. The Summit War ended. The Navy and pirates formed an alliance, led by the Yonko Kaido, to resist the world government's united army. Double quotes. The four emperors Kaido publicly executed the 7 warlords of the sea Blackbeard, and from his body resurrected the once overlord of the seas, the great pirate Rocks. The four emperors Kaido announced that he wanted to end the Great Pirate Era on the appointed 10 days. All pirates and criminals can apply to join the united forces to resist the world government. 10 days later, Kaido's forces will destroy the entire pirate world. This damn news is one hell of a deal. Is it fake news? Everyone was stunned. The United Army executed Rocks, ending the Great Pirate Era. There is not a single situation that can make people understand. Kaido makes every event as a great stroke of imagination. Each kingdom, the nobles were angry. The Navy and pirates have formed an alliance, wanting to end the Great Pirate Era, overthrow the rule of the Celestial Dragons. Our rule as nobles must also end, right? Block the news. Don't let the commoners know about this, lest they get any ideas. Many places are hiding the news. But such big news, how can it be covered up, King? It's no good. The people of the land are starting to rebel. Start supporting Kaido's movement. What? Suppress these commoners, quickly. Suppress? No, even the Navy is involved. We can't force it. Damn it, gather all the troops to protect me. One more moment, King, it's over. The army has rebelled. What? The army also raised to maintain Kaido's movement, wanting to overthrow all the nobles, wanting to kill the king. Quick, cover my escape. One more moment. The person protecting the king fled, looked towards the king, and said with a serious face, "First, please call me comrade." Following Kaido to execute Blackbeard, he proved his righteous stance and determination. The Navy and the United Pirate Army were no longer seen as traitors to the people, but as more righteous protectors of the common people than before. The common people who had long been oppressed by the nobles saw a glimmer of hope and rekindled a flame of hope. There have been many kingdoms overthrown by the common people, the vast majority of which were caused by military kingdoms rebelling. After all, military kingdoms were all created by the common people in the first half of the Grand Line. Countless countries were burning fiercely. Grand Line second half, New World. This kingdom, the ruler is generally powerful, not so easily overthrown. Many movements of resistance from the nobles and kings were just raised, but were immediately suppressed with a show of force. But the king and nobles did not feel safe because of this. The commoners are good at suppressing, but the Kaido forces are coming in the future. What should we do? The king was extremely panicked. The four emperors and the navy formed the united army. In front of them, we have no strength to resist at all. Your Majesty, those great pirates and vicious criminals we asked for help have now disappeared, as if they can't even protect themselves, and have no time to pay attention to outside affairs. Where is the world government? What do they say? The world government wants us to hand over the Tenjoken heavenly gold with peace of mind. There's no need for delay. Bang! The king's mind collapsed. On normal days, what underground world king, what great pirate, what vast connections and businesses, how high the bounty, how strong the strength, how great the influence. Destroying a kingdom is as easy as turning over one's hand. Now Kaido has made a big noise to the outside world, and all these guys are gone. Even the Yonko Big Mom's power began to shrink. World governments only care about asking for money. The atmosphere is so clever, the king could only see a dead end ahead. Unable to see any way of life, can only surrender. The king was very unwilling, but surrendering is really unwilling, and it is very likely that I will die. Why don't we surrender and join the Union Army? Someone suggested, join the resistance faction of the Heavenly Dragons. This is probably the only way out. Will the Allied Army accept us? The king smiled bitterly, but it can be considered acceptable. We will not have the current wealth, power, and status in the future, and we are also very unwilling. With so much wealth, power, and women, how can we abandon them? Anyway, it's better than losing your life. Besides, the nobles are also very unwilling, but do they have any other choice? That is, a little smart New World country, with the king and nobles as representatives. They all took up arms and rose up in rebellion, declaring to maintain the Kaido United Army and join the camp to overthrow the world government. Place your baits, but this must be taken down, uncle. No bet, Kaido confirmed to kill them. The world government only cares about asking for money, basically not saving people. But bet, there is still a little hope of life. Just hope there can be a good result. The king walked out of the palace and faced the people. People, I'm late. Let us join hands and advance together, overthrow the evil rule of the heavenly dragons. We are all victims of the heavenly dragon suppression. We are all the same people. The people were all excited to flip the Byakugan. But if this bastard king can truly and sincerely resist the celestial dragons, it is also a good thing. Grand Line, first half. East Sea, South Sea, overcame 9 countries. Was overthrown by the people united with the navy. And the second half of the Grand Line, the New World. West Sea, North Sea, 3 more countries declared to maintain Kaido. The rest are still hesitant. 3 cities is actually a lot. Because many places are under the control of the 4 emperors, or some relatively confident pirates. They are still hesitating and do not compromise so quickly. There are also the naval branches, now all have their heads dizzy. The Summit War, against the pirates a war. Fought to the end, the navy turned into pirates, forming the United Army to resist the celestial dragons. The weak branches all very quickly chose to follow the Sengoku general, assisting the people to overthrow the nobles. Relatively strong branches received 2 orders, the Sengoku marshal's orders, and the Tenryunin's orders. Most of them chose to maintain the Sengoku marshal's orders. After all, who would like the Tenryunin? Revolutionary Army aspect, Monkey D. Dragon, also very dreamy. The 4 emperors united navy has turned into a revolutionary army. Dragon looked at the newspaper dumbly, momentarily unable to come to his senses. So what are we going to do? The world's lands have all raised a movement to rebel against the nobles. Many kingdoms have been pushed down. What Kaido has done in one go, compared to what we have gone through in so many years combined, is still much more. On the side of the Revolutionary Army, looking at the press, they were extremely excited. Mr. Dragon, do we want to join Kaido's camp or not? Don't rush to join first, look around first. Dragon shook his head. The ones who sent people before have not yet been overthrown in the kingdom to cause destruction, leading the people to overthrow the nobles. As for joining Kaido, let's see if he can really end the Great Pirate Era. That's right. The Revolutionary Army group nodded. Many rely on the dangerous place against the kingdom. Infiltrate a large number of revolutionary troops. These kingdoms were shocked to find that the people's resistance activities were becoming more and more professional, and could more and more accurately cause destruction. The world's nobles were in dire straits. Wano country, Lord Kaido turned into a marine. It is rumored that the entire Wano country is experiencing special earthquakes. Boss Kaido, what happened? Suddenly entering the Summit War, completely without contacting us. Now even joining the Navy. Big Brother Kaido didn't join the Navy. The Navy joined Big Brother Kaido. What do you mean? How many marshals and generals do we want in the future? That's not right. It's the United Nations Army, after all the world government. Wano country closed its ports. Again, the distance is great, the time is short. The 100 Beasts Pirates people also did not have a clear picture at the time. Wait until they explain the cause and effect. Kaido will definitely explain everything, and make sure everyone understands clearly. Boss Kaido wants to help all of humanity. What does Kaido-sama think? Double quotes. Overthrow the nobles, overthrow the celestial dragons, give everyone freedom, and the great pirate era. Isn't it for world domination, Queen Jack? To people awake, tried to contact Kaido again, but couldn't get through. He didn't bring anyone to the summit, and didn't bring a duplicate phone. But King on one side was silent, but in his eyes there appeared a strange color. He is a Lunarian immigrant. There was once a piece of the kingdom of God on the red line. The Lunarians were called gods. King was captured by the world government for experiments when he was young, and was saved by Kaido, who escaped from prison at that time. He believes that Kaido has the power to change the world, and also believes that Kaido will change the world. He believes that Kaido is the legendary Joy Boy. So he followed Kaido, hoping to help Kaido become the Pirate King. Even though all these years have been like this, Kaido's actions have all been relatively evil. Now Kaido really shows Joy Boy temperament. Isn't this what I believe? I, indeed, did not make a mistake in judgment. Listen, Mr. Kaido. King suddenly opened his mouth and said, although I did not ask for permission from Mr. Kaido, it is inconvenient to directly release the slaves and stop oppressing Wano country. But we can capture Orochi and his gang first, and wait for Mr. Kaido to handle it. Also suspend the use of slaves, and distribute food to all the commoners of Wano country, so they can eat. First step, capture Orochi altogether. Listen. Queen and Jack were both scared. This is really breaking such order and planning. Doing so is too chaotic. If we do so, what have we been doing all these years for? Queen did not agree. This is at the root of self-cutting, Jack added. Mr. Kaido has awakened, becoming Joy Boy. King crossed his arms, his eyes determined, and said, the great hero who can save the world. Save all of humanity, Joy Boy, is Mr. Kaido. What are you talking about? ... Queen and Jack are very dreamy. What Joy Boy? What's saving the world? That's not important. Wano country is their business. Do as I say, King said. This is Mr. Kaido's announcement to the whole world. Of course, Wano will be no exception. Resolve the Wano nobles. Release the slaves here. Stop oppressing the common people. Then declare war on the world government. This, Queen and Jack looked at each other. If it was King's intention, he wouldn't listen to him. The 100 Beasts pirates were all of high strength, and there were people in the headliners group who felt contempt for King. But when Kaido-sama spoke up, the weight was different. Moreover, he also attracted the entire navy, united with Whitebeard, forming the Kaido Alliance army. Wano country, lift up a series of changes. Catch me, where is Kaido? I want to see him. Kurozumi Orochi shouted. Who is that guy relying on to take up weapons? This is betrayal. Let Kaido come see me. Let Kaido talk to me. Meeting Boss Kaido, are you worthy? Jack roared. Jack, although looks a bit weak, that is, he will not choose the right hand. He has some business even Roger Resurrected cannot do. Capture Kurozumi Orochi process is still very smooth. Obtaining the mythical Zoan, Yamato no Orochi form Kurozumi Orochi, is completely a weakling. Capture the royal court. Capture all of Kurozumi Orochi's subordinates, but this is an activity. Also in the Beast Pirates, caused a great controversy. Capturing Kurozumi Orochi and his subordinates, that's not a problem. That piece of trash is worthy of being an ally with Governor Kaido. It should have been captured long ago. Inside the pirate gang, a voice appeared. But why? Want to release slaves, stop factories, and even give food to common people, those weak people. How can they have the right to eat? We joined the 100 Beasts pirates, hoping to follow Governor Kaido and create a pirate paradise, a place of no return, a pirate paradise. And even in the future, follow Governor Kaido and create a violent world. Why does the current Admiral Kaido want more justice than the Navy? Is he a revolutionary? Is he homesick? What does he want to do? These voices of doubt caused no small resonance in the 100 Beasts pirates. Join the 100 Beasts pirates. All are to help the extremely evil pirates. They rob, burn, kill, and commit endless evil deeds. Using all villains to describe the 100 Beasts pirates is not an exaggeration at all. This kind of pirate crew suddenly turned into wanting to save the whole world, save all of humanity. Is this the style of the 100 Beasts pirates? Is Lord Kaido drunk? Countless people could not accept this kind of change, and raised questions. Mr. Kaido's intention, you all just need to listen, no need to question, and no disobedience allowed. King also answered everyone's questions. If anyone is not willing, they can leave. Or come challenge me, challenge Mr. Kaido. I am willing to accompany anyone who wants to fight me. There are people who do not know how to live or die, and go to war. When King kills the headliners, kill a Phi Luke Bell later. No doubts sound. There is no challenge. Anyway, King killed them. Too easily, simply 1 or 2 confrontations, and he would deal with those who dared to challenge him. If you want to go, just go. Wano country allows you to leave, King said. But you must remember Mr. Kaido. Mr. Kaido wants to end the Great Pirate Era. Within 10 days, if you do not join the united army of Mr. Kaido, you will be completely destroyed by Mr. Kaido and the newly created forces. At that time, it will not be me facing you. The 4 emperors, the generals, even Mr. Kaido himself, can appear before you. This word leaves many people wanting to think. How unusual. This world changes. Admiral Kaido unites Whitebeard and the entire navy and wants to unite the whole world together to overthrow the celestial dragons, eliminate all crimes, and end the Great Pirate Era. Obviously, Governor Kaido is not that kind of person. What exactly happened? The changes were so fast that everyone couldn't keep up for a moment. Especially seeing those weak commoners all having food to eat, making them who have become used to being oppressed feel uncomfortable all over. Following Governor Kaido is the Beast Pirates' suspicious voices gradually disappeared. Cake Island, Wano country, as it changed, Charlotte Linlin, terrified. He understood that Kaido guy very well. He had known Kaido for many years, and had great affection for him. As a result, Kaido's actions overturned her perception. That guy, wouldn't he be like the bragging Kadri, the legendary Joy Boy? Charlotte Linlin could hardly believe it. Mom, it's not good. Many kingdoms are in revolution. Sweet processing factories are on strike. Kaido declares, let the entire kingdom world become chaos. The nobles are overthrown. The rulers are overthrown. A lot of news came to Charlotte Linlin here. He heard these words and was very angry. Sweet factory workers are on strike. Unforgivable. It's all because of that bastard Kaido. He just posted a statement for no reason. I'll have nothing to eat soon. Contact Kaido. I want to talk to Kaido. What the hell is he up to? Charlotte Linlin was angry. Unfortunately, Kaido could not be contacted. Can only contact Wano country. What the hell is Kaido doing? Charlotte Linlin could not help but take a step back and chatted with Kaido's staff. Let him stop messing around. Under my kingdom, no disturbances are allowed. They must wholeheartedly produce and process sweets for me. I'm sorry, we couldn't contact Mr. Kaido either. King replied, but Mr. Kaido's intention is very clear. The nobles and the celestial dragons must be overthrown. The whole world wants to gain freedom. The Great Pirate Era must definitely end. You will be no exception. Give up the kingdom's subordinates. Join Mr. Kaido in the camp. What a joke, Charlotte Linlin angrily said. That Kaido. What qualifications does he have to let me join him? He should join me. I can reluctantly consider letting him be a cadre. In short, change will not be stopped, King said. Then I will use my own method to respond. I'll wait for that Kaido guy to come find me. Charlotte Linlin hung up the phone, angry. So beautiful, suddenly causing a bit of chaos. That Kaido guy is really hateful. 10 days to join his allied army. If not, end the Great Pirate Era. I, on the contrary, want to see what Kaido will end up with. He beat me. Navy headquarters. After the public execution of Blackbeard, or rather Rux, Kaido's fame rose to an infinite height. The entire world was undergoing changes. Sengoku Buddha continuously gathered intelligence. With the help of the local navy, we estimate that in the next 10 days, at least 7/10 of the Broken Kingdoms will join us. The rest will be Red Hair, Big Mom, and some relatively difficult to deal with pirates who have taken over the kingdoms. At the same time, we have already begun preparations to initiate a conscription campaign against the transformed kingdoms and search for hidden powerhouses to join. Pirate side, how many strong people joined us? Kaido asked. Not yet. Sengoku Buddha shook his head. Even if it is a supernova, no one has chosen to join yet. Pirate groups are relatively difficult to attract. Authentication is not easy to attract. Kaido slowly nodded. 10 days later, no pirates or criminals will be joined. All will be eliminated. The Tuyanko added the entire navy. And Kaido was also able to receive an ancient weapon. Ending the Great Pirate Era is as easy as turning your hand on the sea. There is also a pirate fleet, just sailing over Red Hair. Kaido realized, why is Red Hair here? The crowd did well to prepare for the response. Redfield, Buddha Pride, is slowly approaching the shore on the boat. Red Hair, a group of people at the bow of the boat. Beside him lay a person soaking in water, being rescued by the person, Joker Buggy. I didn't think the final summit would turn out like this. Red Hair is like a dream. Kaido can actually create this kind of united army formation, such a big move facing the whole world. The original Red Hair was intended to stop the war from spreading. He saw that with Garp, Sengoku, and the 3 great admirals guarding the marine headquarters, Kaido joining forces with Whitebeard would undoubtedly die, and after they died, the war would inevitably expand, brewing into a great disaster. Red Hair absolutely has the face to block. Because he himself is a celestial dragon, at the God Valley incident, he was still adopted by Roger as a child, not following the normal path to becoming an elite celestial dragon, and even joining the Divine Knights. But red-haired Shanks because of his deep background. His father is not an ordinary celestial dragon. In addition to himself, he has great strength, power and influence. Therefore, there is no such thing as an ordinary celestial dragon. Once they leave, they will be completely ostracized. Red-haired Shanks was easily accepted again by the celestial dragons, especially the Gorosei. Although Red Hair has not returned to the Holy Land, he has not officially restored his status as a celestial dragon. Can also tell Gorosei words, to their implementation influence. Based on this one connection, rely on these faces. Red Hair to the Navy headquarters, can certainly negotiate war. Even Akainu wanted to give him face. You must know that Akainu was not even afraid of Whitebeard, said to fight then fought, and also had the reputation of absolute justice, but after seeing the Red Hair, he did not make a move. Would absolute justice sit idled by and ignore the pirates in front of him, also because Red Hair face is too big. Marshal Sengoku also wanted to consider the influence of Red Hair on the other side of the celestial dragons, that is, Red is coming. But the truth developed beyond people's expectations. However, the red-haired man did not turn back to leave the boat. After the buggy fell into the sea, he continued to drive toward the Navy headquarters, obviously expressing his thoughts. The Allied army did not receive any orders to stop them, and each one of them hurriedly went forward. The red-haired group's strength was relatively balanced, and looking back, they all felt oppressed. Kaido, Red Hair approached the shore later, faced Kaido and the others, and finally looked towards Kaido. I came here specifically to tell you, disband the Allied army. And don't try to overthrow the celestial dragons. For what? Kaido asked. The others also looked at the Red Hair in surprise, but no one said anything. Sengoku, Garp, and the generals all know about the relationship between Red Hair and the world government. He must understand many secrets. Saying these things now, there must be a reason. That stuck to the void for 100 years. Red Hair said, I can share some content with you, but not here. This place is a Kong warship, can you tell? Kaido said, Whitebeard. Sengoku and the others were also there. There was no need to keep the empty 100 years a secret from them. Redhead confirmed there were no eavesdroppers, that 100 years of emptiness. A prophecy, Red Hair explained in detail, 100 years of emptiness. I don't understand much. But I can know, in that 100 years, there was a mysterious little human race. That and any little human race in the world now are different. That mysterious little human race's ability is, they can predict the future and also make predictions. In the sky 100 years ago, this little human race made a prophecy. Joy Boy will be more than 800 years after resurrection. Resurrection Joy Boy, know how to release everyone. Joy Boy, go to the last place. Going there, you can save the whole world, 800 years ago prediction. Listen, it still seems very accurate. What does this prophecy mean? Must Joy Boy be resurrected? Kaido asked, perhaps I am Joy Boy. Joy Boy is the awakened Nika fruit man. Kaido has the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit, which can be awakened, and Kaido will become Joy Boy. Even so, there are two things that don't match. Red Hair shook his head and said, first thing, the time is not accurate. Regarding the time, one version is unclear in number, only knowing that it is roughly 800 years. Another version is a relatively accurate prediction of time. Probably, 2 years later, we are now 2 years ahead of schedule. Now is not the time to predict, it is too early. The second thing that doesn't match is the order. In the prophecy, first go to the final land, then overthrow the heavenly dragons to rule. But you now want to overthrow the heavenly dragons first, then go find the final land, maybe even not find the final land. This is also inconsistent with the prophecy, therefore. Currently fighting against the celestial dragons, there is only one path to death. Besides, you are not Joy Boy. I can also reveal a secret intelligence to you, Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit. Actually, its real name is Nika fruit. Only by awakening to become the sun god Nika can one be a Joy Boy. You are the Azure Dragon fruit. You are fundamentally incapable of being Nika. Therefore, the identity, time, and order all don't match. You will definitely lose. Give me a face. Don't want to try to fight against the world government now. Run away. 2 years later Joy Boy will be resurrected. The time is ripe. At that time, you all gather again and follow Joy Boy. Listen, Whitebeard, Sengoku, Garp, Kizaru, Aokiji all had very strange expressions. Need Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit, awaken Nika fruit. They looked at Kaido, then looked at the red hair. What, you don't believe I understand the prophecy? Why are you all looking at me with such strange eyes? Red Hair doubtfully said, these things, even ordinary celestial dragons do not understand. It is a very deep level of intelligence. I have not kept to inform you, and these years I have ventured in for places, also found a lot of evidence, along with the empty 100-year-old fragmentary records. This prediction is probably correct. Actually, I have 2 fruits. My second fruit is the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit. Kaido had shown Sengoku and the others before, and now he once again stated, so, I am Joy Boy, I am the person in the prophecy. Kaido pulled the leader's arm from the red hair in front of him, then returned. Red Hair scared dumb. This is impossible. Red Hair choked and denied, you already can't have 2 fruits. The second fruit shouldn't be the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit. There can't be 2 Gomu Gomu no Mi fruits in the world. Red Hair glared. Pupils shook, body trembled slightly, obviously received a great shock, but this is the truth. Kaido said, the characteristics of Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit you should understand. And the fact that I have dual fruits is even more obvious to the naked eye. What is that Luffy fruit? When I first obtained the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit, I also saw Luffy swallow it with my own eyes. Double quotes. The red-haired man's head buzzed in response. He looked over at the devil fruit, Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit appearance. With the fruit he obtained completely similar, the previous Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit was also obtained by Luffy. In fact, these are all well-presented red hair. He was deliberately looking for the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit. Then follow the prophecy and find the person who might become Joy Boy. At that time, the red hair's first target was Ace, Roger's son. Most likely to awaken the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit becomes Joy Boy. Afterward, the newly discovered redhead is a more suitable target. Garp nephew, son of dragon, Luffy, this is a great harvest. He is even more suitable than Ace to eat the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit, more likely to awaken it, becoming the person in the prophecy. So, the world government collects 5 unsuccessful Gomu Gomu no Mi fruits. The red hair was just laid out comfortably on the table, not even the lid was closed. Placed at an extremely close distance from Luffy, let's tease Luffy a little more. The child was angry, just wanted to eat something. Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit was just like that, easily swallowed by Luffy. The Savior's plan, just like that, was implemented after, to encourage Luffy so that he has more chance to awaken the fruit. Red Hair deliberately left himself an arm. If not for the Sea King, who was close to the sea, how could he have bitten off Red Hair's arm? Even if Red Hair wasn't at his peak at that time, he had already conquered the Grand Line with Roger and founded his own pirate crew. And that Sea King, Luffy, who had just entered the sea, could have lost it with one punch later. The red-haired men passed down this straw hat to Luffy. Roger came to Raftel that year, understanding the 100 years of emptiness. He knew that only Joy Boy's return would make sense, and the world would change. Roger thought the red-haired man might be Joy Boy, so he left him his straw hat. Red Hair thinks he is not. He flows with the bloodline of a celestial dragon. Saying he is Joy Boy is really too forced. So even though he got the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit, the red-haired man didn't go eat it. Bring the straw hat, inherited to Luffy on the body, straw hat, arms. Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit, he is on Luffy's body, under heavy spell. Absolutely believe that Luffy is Joy Boy when meeting Whitebeard. Red Hair also expressed that he would bet his other arm on the new era. Everything, all of it, is following the prophecy that Red Hair understood 800 years ago, and step by step, it is coming closer and closer to being realized, the result of such a long plot. Now tell me, Kaido also has Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit. Is he actually Joy Boy? How can Red Hair accept this kind of thing? What was the fruit he got earlier? What was the preparation he had done all these years? Before, when hearing Kaido say that he was Joy Boy, the red-haired man inwardly snorted in disdain. Heard from the people under him, that special race guy seems to be called King. Kaido bragged that he is Joy Boy. Maybe among these brags, Kaido himself didn't believe it. The result is not entirely bragging. There is real evidence. Which part of the accident happened? Red Hair holding his head. One side of the matter ruined appearance. Could it be that in the world there is more than one Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit? So the world government has not successfully recovered it all year. Because inside there are real and fake ones. The possibility that the world government recovered them all is fake. It has never been real. And the one I got, feeding Luffy all the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit, is also fake, huh? Red Hair used up a lot of hardship before reaching Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit. But think about it carefully. There is indeed a problem. The world government has not been able to obtain the fruit for 800 years. Can I really get it? Did I bet wrong? Red Hair doubts himself, even doubts life. After so many years of planning and putting in such heavy loads, suddenly discovering a mistake, it's hard not to doubt yourself. Incorrect. Red Hair took it, but suddenly shook his head. Kaido, even if your Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit is real, you are Joy Boy, but the timing is not right. You need 2 years to awaken, then go to the final destination, and fight against the world government. Right now, the timing, sequence, and prophecy do not match. Red Hair's eyes firmly lowered, saying, "So, Kaido, I still say the same thing, escape, come back in 2 years. 2 years later is impossible. Kaido has spoken to the Foreign Affairs. 10 days later the Great Pirate Era begins to end. I want to overthrow the world government this year. How can it be 2 years? But Kaido also doesn't need to follow the prediction, because he himself is a transmigrator, a variable, an accident. This can lead to wrong predictions. As for going before Raftel, he went to overthrow the celestial dragons. Roughly speaking, Raftel has something that can make people stronger. Maybe it can target the world government. Kaido doesn't need it. I have a system. Without going to Raftel, I can still have the strength to overthrow the celestial dragons. That is, perhaps the first version of time prediction is correct. Kaido said that vague and clear prediction of 800 years later is true. But the specific prediction of 2 years later is actually wrong. Isn't that also possible? Hearing that, Red Hair was slightly startled. It's not that it's not true, it seems to make sense. The reason why Red Hair was so confident was because 2 years later, he saw that Luffy had not yet grown up. Luffy, at least 2 years is a long time. Firmly believing that Luffy is the red-haired Joy Boy, only then can one confirm that the prediction 2 years later is the most accurate version, currently. Kaido is actually Joy Boy. Time, perhaps, is really capable of changing a bit, as early as now. But you still haven't woken up, Red Hair said. Kaido, you are still the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit. You have not awakened to become the Nika fruit. Perhaps you need 2 years to awaken. I still maintain my stance. No matter which fruit you or Luffy have, we still have to see it awaken. Then we can confirm this saying is also true. Awakening Nika is indeed very important. After all, it is a seemingly real force that can suppress the silence important power. Awakening is simple. Kaido said, looking at the system, my branch reward inside, previously obtained to fruit upgrade cards, after using can immediately develop devil fruit to the extreme. Because before there was no good consideration for what devil fruit to use, temporarily displayed. Now it seems, giving Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit a piece is a given, used successfully. Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit has awakened, Nika fruit. Nika fruit has opened to the limit, gear. Luffy awakens as Nika at the moment, which is gear, the original extreme has gear. I have awakened, Kaido simply transformed. Kaido's hair and clothes are changing to white. White ribbons appear on his body. The surrounding scenery is rubberized, turning into the sun god Nika. Fuck, Red Hair is too scared. Red Hair examined Kaido at the same time. In his mind he gathered all the news related to Nika fruit. Same to similar, basically Nika fruit. You're really Joy Boy. Red Hair is hard to believe. Is this what Nika looks like when she awakens, in the legend of the sun god Nika? In the legend, Joy Boy, really awake, Sengoku Garp. The general also has a relationship with Nika fruit intelligence. Whitebeard spent many years in the New World, and he also read a lot of Joy Boy's records. Kaido in front of him and the information in the legends really do match up a bit. But in the New World, on the ocean, that is the drumbeat of liberation. A 35,000-meter-high supergiant elephant at this moment appeared a reaction, Joy Boy. Joy Boy is back, 800 years later. Zunisha had such a big reaction for the first time. Navy headquarters, that being said, I bet wrong. Red Hair in shock, slowly regained his spirit. I thought Luffy was Joy Boy. This is just a case again. Even. It's not Ace, or me. But I never thought of it. Kido. Double quotes. You believe Luffy is Joy Boy, so you lead him down the path of piracy. Garp asked with a frown. Garp hopes Luffy can become a brave marine, become a general, become a hero, but that kid, now waiting to go out for a trip, when he comes back he shouts that he wants to be a pirate, wants to become the Pirate King. It's all this red-haired guy doing good things. There is no one more suitable than him. Red Hair nodded and said, actually, I originally wanted to find Ace and give him the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit. But the first time I saw Luffy, I saw the figure of Captain Roger from him, even though he was still just a child at that time. To the point, I temporarily changed my mind. Luffy is more suitable than Ace. He is the person in this world who is most likely to become Joy Boy, although now it has been proven that I was wrong. So this was all your plan. He didn't want to intentionally destroy anyone. Moreover, Kaido had proven himself to be Joy Boy before. Luffy really looked very much like Joy Boy, right? No matter how he looked at it. He had the feeling of a son of luck. It was just that there was a slight accident. I will think of a way to guide Luffy back to normal, Red Hair said. After the celestial dragon's rule is overthrown and peace is restored to the world, I promise to guide Luffy. At most I will lose an arm as a price. This is best. Don't let that kid shout about wanting to be the Pirate King again. He should become the Navy King. Garp got the promise later, slightly relieved. The new era also definitely needs the Navy. You must let Luffy shout from the heart, Navy King, I will. I tried my best, Red Hair nodded and said. Sengoku and Whitebeard slowly let go of Garp. Garp also really sobered up, not thinking any more about wanting to stop hitting the Red Hair Kaido. Red Hair turned around and continued speaking. Now that your identity has been determined, the time has also been determined. Not 2 years later, but right now. So the prediction is only missing one thing. That is, finding Raftel first, then we can completely overthrow the celestial dragons. I don't mind going first to Raftel. Kaido replied, but then we need for road poneglyphs. Can we find all the traffic signs now? Listen, everyone simply discussed it. 1 block difference. The final result, we only know that 3 traffic signs are missing, and the last one is missing. Even if all the traffic signs were gathered together, we still wouldn't have the ability to decipher them. The Kozuki Oden clan used to have the ability to decipher, but it is now lost. O'Hara can be deciphered, but destroyed. The traffic signs are not enough. Even if they were complete, they would be impossible to decipher. Finding Raftel is very difficult. This result left the crowd silent. Even though Red Hair knows a lot of things, he still doesn't know how to decipher historical texts. Kaido made a decision and said, first, search for the last historical text in the entire world. With our forces gathered, it won't be difficult to find it. Historical text reading, Whitebeard asked. Aokiji should be very clear. Kaido looked at Aokiji, then looked at the crowd. O'Hara was not completely destroyed that year. There was one person who was released by Aokiji. That person's companion, who had previously destroyed Enies Lobby, was Luffy's companion, Nicole Robin. If we find him, we can decipher the historical text. Regarding O'Hara, Enies Lobby, Nicole Robin, these things, Whitebeard had no interest, so he didn't understand clearly. The Navy, on the other hand, has intelligence. Red Hair also has attention. I didn't think Kaido understood it so well. How do you know about the matter of me letting Robin go that year? Aokiji reacted the most. He immediately glared. This matter, no one should know. I fooled the Navy, fooled the celestial dragons, fooled everyone. Did you intentionally release the photo that year, Robin? Sengoku reluctantly. He had clues about this aspect of intelligence, but hearing Aokiji himself admit it, he was still confused. The Navy is too serious in cheating, but Aokiji was able to hide everything from everyone. But why couldn't he hide it from Kaido? Disgusting. How much does this Kaido guy know? What kind of intelligence is this? Too mysterious. Yes, I let it go on purpose. Aokiji scratched his head. There was nothing he couldn't admit up until now. Sengoku sighed heavily. Red Hair is silent. Nicole Robin joined Luffy. This is also a proof that Luffy is probably Joy Boy. He has already invisibly achieved all the awakened Nika fruits and found Raftel's conditions. Why did it end up proving Luffy wasn't Joy Boy? Where did the problem come from? Red Hair sighed silently. The world is too complicated after all. There are too many variables. Let go of Robin's matter. I just heard a little. Kaido couldn't say anything either. He was a transmigrator with divine vision, so he changed the subject. Red hair. So now you can be considered to have joined us, right? Yes, Redhead nodded. As for finding Joy Boy, there is nothing to worry about. Just join. That's great, Kaido nodded. We announced this. The distance from ending the Great Pirate Era, ending the rule of the nobles, will take a big step forward. Now the owner wants to find a traffic sign with Nicole Robin. 10 days later, the Great Pirate Era began to end. Pirates and nobles were all finished off later. Regardless of whether or not we can find and decipher traffic signs, we have officially declared war on the Celestial Dragons. Even if I don't go to Raftel, I can still break the Heavenly Dragon. Red Hair thought for a moment, then slowly nodded. Things had developed to this point. The Celestial Dragons could not give them time, and slowly searched for Raftel. After the pirates and nobles end, if there is still no way to go to Raftel, we can only declare war first. Red Hair joined Kaido of the United Forces later. The four seas raised up the sea waves. The three Yonko increased the entire navy. Countless pirates gave up their illusions, and one after another chose to surrender, joining the resistance against the Heavenly Dragons and humans. Many kingdoms, also in front of this terrifying force, were scared out of their wits. The king and nobles generally chose to surrender or leave. 2 short days passed through 8 overthrown kingdoms. Tenjoken Heavenly Gold, completely broken. Disgusting Kaido, Tenjoken Heavenly Gold is broken. Our food resources are no longer in unlimited supply. Restrictions are starting to be imposed. Damn it, there's no unlimited food and resources. Each person is limited to 10 tons per day. How are we supposed to live like this? Holy Land, Mariejwa. The internal theme long non-received the influence. Why suddenly limit our food, resource supply? What the hell happened within the crowd of celestial dragons? Many voices of dissatisfaction erupted. They went out to complain, holding the slaves beside them and venting their anger. Gorose, limiting supply has indeed caused a lot of dissatisfaction. It cannot continue like this. The lands are all rebelling. We don't have the power to suppress such a large-scale rebellion. Those royal families and nobles are not trustworthy. They fear Kaido's power. Even if the world government promises to protect them, they still surrender. A bunch of cowards, yet they fear Kaido, but not us. The lower-class commoners within the royal family are still commoners. Their inner nature cannot be changed. The biggest problem is that the inside of the Tenjoken Heavenly Gold is broken. And there is no hope of recovery. Continue like this, it will be wrong. The Gorose gathered to discuss countermeasures. But just gathered to get angry, no discussion of how to deal with it. Even the red-haired one joined Kaido of the United Army. It's really strange. Why did the red hair join him? He clearly has the bloodline of a celestial dragon, being adopted by the commoners. He was ultimately influenced by assimilation. He actually believed in the Joy Boy fairy tale, even thinking that Kaido was Joy Boy. Joy Boy, Red Hair actually believes in this kind of fairy tale. Disgusting, Kaido's power is getting bigger and bigger. What can we really do? They continued to sit around to get some air. The Science Defense Martial God, Saint Saturn, with his curly hair loose and scarred face, said with a gloomy expression, CP has already been sent out in full. The war machine has also been sent out in full to the ground. Seraphim also finished the test early and forced it to start. But the result is not very satisfactory. Were you stopped by Kaido? Another Gorose asked, not really. Saint Saturn's face became even more gloomy, saying, the world of the land, hidden away countless strong people. Among them, there are people possessing strength not inferior to a general. When the CP Force squad brought a large number of Seraphim to pacify a kingdom, encountered a guy who could summon meteorites, who actually ate Zushi no Mi, and wiped out the entire group. Everyone, along with the war machine, were easily destroyed by him. Zushi no Mi, not inferior to a general. Damn it, who is this guy, a pirate? Why hasn't he become one of the 4 emperors? Hasn't made his name known, and hasn't even been heard of. Not a pirate, investigating, his name is Isho. He is a normal person who loves gambling, seems to have a righteous heart. Useless, powerful criminal, that being the case, yet not joining the Navy or the world government giving us power. These damned commoners, all of them are disloyal and dishonest. I apologize to the creator who created them. Can you handle him? This kind of person cannot be kept, joined Kaido. Saint Saturn sighed and said, currently in the world, countless pirates, criminals, and civilians are joining Kaido. Even the Revolutionary Army is secretly helping Kaido. Disgusting, Kaido can't really be Joy Boy. No, he didn't eat the Goma Goma no Mi fruit. But why does he have this kind of summoning power? Damn it, really damn it. Gorosei discussed the situation. Basically, the whole world's royal families and nobles were overthrown. It was only a matter of time. The great pirate era is also approaching its end. Because the 4 emperors, except for Big Mom, have all joined Kaido. Once Charlotte Linlen's matter is resolved, all the top pirates will be on Kaido's side. At that time, dealing with the other pirates will be as easy as turning over one's hand. The Navy has already abandoned the Thien Long Non. There is no hope of recovery. Until now, even a lieutenant general cannot be contacted. The Revolutionary Army also secretly helped Kaido. There are also ordinary people who hide their identities in the world of powerhouses, such as that Zushi no Mi, named Isho, who generally chooses between joining Kaido and watching the show. And no one chooses to help the celestial dragons. The world map is displayed before your eyes. At the red line outside, I couldn't find a decent place to maintain the strength of the heavenly dragons. Simply the target of attack. We can only do our best to stop Kaido from preparing. There is no way to stop him from growing the United Army, or even uniting the entire world. All the war machines were mobilized in front of the world's countless experts. They all appeared unable to withstand a single blow. What do you want to prepare to stop Kaido? Gorosei Group changes strategy. Had not sent hope and can bring danger. Stop at red line outside. Rely on the Holy Land. Rely on the red line. And fight Kaido to the fullest. Mother, I want to send out the flying dragon. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Listen. The Gorosei were startled and quickly knelt down. Be quiet, Sir Surin. You just said you wanted to dispatch the flying dragon. In the end, it still came to this step ... double quotes. So, how many flying dragons do you want to dispatch? Gorosei in the bottom of his heart. Secretly shocked, they were still thinking about whether to send out the Divine Knights. But facing Kaido's current lineup, the Divine Knights' orders deployment does not necessarily mean they will have the upper hand in terms of combat power. Especially Kaido, this is the biggest variable. In terms of science and technology, it can be said to be a complete failure. The Fire Race was Vegapunk because they researched the strongest weapons. As a result, the Fire Seed sample was arbitrarily destroyed by Kaido. The remaining war machines, when they were used to suppress the rebellion in the various worlds, were destroyed by the natives. So it was not Kaido's turn to make a move in this form of misery below. Lord M finally decided to dispatch Phylon. This is a very shocking decision, because Phylon is their extremely important trump card. What is Phylon? In the Heavenly Dragon Man's enslavement, all slaves on the body can see a mark, flying dragon hoof. The most famous of the 7 warlords, the Empress, Boa Hancock, behind her is the flying dragon hoof left behind by the celestial dragon. Hitting the Phylon's hooves marks means being a slave all your life, being an inferior person all your life. But Phylon's hooves, it's not that boring to design the shape. But it is the celestial dragon man who truly provides nourishment for the flying dragon. That is the creator's strongest trump card left behind for them. Even the name Thien Long Non comes from Phylon. Phylong sky, Phylong light, Phylong sea. There is also one head, the ancestor Phylong, which was the strongest Phylong cloned by the creator back then. These flying dragons are all precious, and there is no reason to hesitate to send them out. Now is the time to make a move. The Phylong ancestor and the 3 great dragon kings outside, all mobilized. I'm ordered, don't go outside, guard the red line, don't allow any creatures to crawl on the red line. That's right. No one can climb up the red line under the protection of the flying dragon. Kaido and the others can only watch, Gorosei agreed. Unless Kaido can gather 3 ancient weapons. But that is impossible. The Heavenly King has been missing for many years. If even one ancient weapon is missing, they will not be able to attack. Another Gorosei said, red line, within one night. Surrounded by countless flying dragons, from afar, there seemed to be a swarm of bats, numerous and tiny. Anyone who approaches the red line will be fiercely attacked by them. Kaido, the celestial dragon, has dispatched the flying dragon just as I predicted. Red Hair came from outside at this time, giving the latest intelligence. The Dragon King exists in his own name. Kaido slowly nodded. Garp has convinced Luffy to go find Frankie and let us make the ancient weapon of Hades. Whitebeard also went to Fisherman Island. And Sea King joining us is just a matter of time, only one Heavenly King away. The whereabouts of the Heavenly King are unknown, the most mysterious, Red Hair side. I have not had any relevant intelligence for the past few years. No rush, the Heavenly King will eventually appear. Kaido branches reward, let him freely receive an ancient weapon. Heavenly King can actually understand that he is the earliest to obtain an ancient weapon. You said before, only by gathering 3 ancient weapons can we break through the flying dragon's defense. Attack the Holy Land, I believe the heavens will take care of us. I just want to go, Red Hair nodded. What about the traffic sign and Nicole Robin? Kaido asked. Robin has been found. The traffic sign still has a piece of unknown whereabouts. In our hands, there are currently the blocks of traffic signs. Charlotte Lin has one in her hand. One is missing. Sengoku replied to this. Charlotte Lin, still not joining us. Kaido stood up and said, looks like I'll have to go myself. I heard that the Celestial Dragon has gone to talk about cooperation with Charlotte Lin. You need to be careful, Sengoku reminded. Thien Long Nan, looking for Charlotte Lin to cooperate. Kaido thought for a moment and nodded. I know. In the bottom of the heart, carelessly, what can she and the Celestial Dragon do together? It's as simple as the Celestial Dragon wants to use him as a knife. He wouldn't do anything like that, right? If he was tricked, then I can conveniently deal with him. After leaving the room and entering the shelter, Kaido noticed the noise around. What's going on? What's the fuss over there? Kaido asked suspiciously. I'll go ask around. Sengoku picked up the phone and answered after a while. It's Buggy. That guy escaped before, but now he's back. And he said he has the latest news about Charlotte Lin. Oh, he has news of Big Mom. Kaido said in surprise, take me over and ask him what happened on the shore. Buggy almost drowned, now lying on the sand, gasping for air. Captain Buggy. Buggy's pursuers, at this moment extremely excited, ran over. Before that, Captain Buggy suddenly disappeared. We thought Captain Buggy abandoned us and ran away. We knew. Captain Buggy would not abandon us. Captain Buggy, there must be a reason, choosing to row away alone late at night. They still remember that night Joker Buggy sneaked around, looking for a wooden raft, then risked rowing to the sea. After being discovered by Buggy's pursuers, Buggy's plans became faster and faster, absolutely not wanting to meet with his pursuers, as if he wanted to abandon them and run away. The suitors were all confused, not knowing why Captain Buggy wanted to leave alone. Now Buggy returns, they were very moved. Each of them immediately filled in their minds with confidence. Captain Buggy's previous departure had a profound meaning. These people who pursued them had visions, thinking. and strength much lower than Captain Buggy. It was very normal not to understand. Captain Buggy, are you okay? The pursuers came, for Buggy's back was broken. At the same time, a follower felt shocked and said, Captain Buggy, what exactly have you been through? Even a strong person like you is in a bit of a bind right now. That's right, Captain Buggy. What exactly happened? The pursuers, not understanding inside, carried a thick shock. In the eyes of these people, Captain Buggy is on the same level as Kaido. Currently Kaido recruited to Yonko. The entire navy, the entire world beyond the 8 kingdoms openly supported Kaido. Countless pirates gave up crime to join the United Army. Simply the entire world all became Kaido's right-hand man. And Captain Buggy is on the same level as Kaido, and is also a man standing at the peak of this world. Currently at the top of the world, Captain Buggy, yet looking so miserable, really makes people tremble. What could have happened to save the invincible Buggy Captain to turn into this state? It was truly terrifying to think about. Thinking about it made one's whole body tremble. Big Mom, Big Mom. Buggy's pupils shook, repeating over and over. What? Big Mom, Yonko, Big Mom. Captain Buggy left during this period of time to meet the 4 emperors. Have you met the 4 emperors? Could it be that the 4 emperors are so shameful that they ambushed Captain Buggy? That's not right. With Captain Buggy's strength, he should be able to crush and beat the 4 emperors. He wouldn't have let Captain Buggy struggle like this. Buggy pursuers, fierce discussion. They are in doubt. Buggy coughed a few more times, spitting out some seawater, before finally being able to speak normally, saying, Yonko Big Mom is about to die. Her kingdom is now a sea of fire. He almost wants to be buried in it. One stone stirs up 1,000 waves. Big Mom is dying. The cry echoed across the sand. Could it be that Captain Buggy took advantage of the night to leave 2 days ago and wanted to go and destroy the Yonko Big Mom? What? So this is how it is. So Big Mom's kingdom is a sea of fire. And he's about to die. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Also because Captain Buggy wanted to capture the 4 emperors, worried that we, the pursuers, were not strong enough to hold him back. So he didn't bring us along. What are you saying? Captain Buggy's strength, how could he be worried that we would hinder him? He clearly loves his subordinates, and is worried that we will die fighting with the 4 emperors. And Captain Buggy himself can defeat the entire Big Mom force, so he is going alone, so you're taking care of us. Afraid we'll sacrifice ourselves? Woo, I just said that Captain Buggy at that time, alone, desperately boarded the boat and left. The more we shouted, the faster Captain Buggy arrived. This matter is not right. It turns out that he was thinking completely for our lives. I cry, feel moved. Captain Buggy's love for his subordinates is truly the best in the world. My fate, from now on, is to be Captain Buggy. Captain Buggy, Captain Buggy, Captain Buggy. Buggy's subordinates were extremely moved by each word, causing Buggy's reputation to jump to the extreme. Originally still wanted to say something to Buggy, at this moment completely lost in thought. Can this restore reputation? 2 days ago, Buggy heard that Kaido wanted to summon the whole world to launch a general attack on the celestial dragons. At that time, Buggy felt that Kaido was crazy. Even if he gathered the 4 emperors and the entire navy, or even the entire world, thinking about overthrowing the celestial dragons would not be that easy, because Buggy had followed Roger. He had more or less probed a corner of the celestial dragon's strength. Just that little bit of strength, Buggy knew, even if it was Captain Roger at his peak, it was not enough to fight against the celestial dragons. The celestial dragon man, in Buggy's knowledge, was already an invincible existence. Kaido thinks that fighting against the celestial dragons is basically courting death. I myself am not accompanying this crazy group to death. The summit war between Whitebeard and the Marines had already scared Buggy out of his wits. He was able to survive until the end because of his good luck. Now he still had to participate in a larger-scale war free. I also no longer pursue the status of four emperors, pirate king, or king of the world. Downlink is not needed either. Bye-bye, find a boat. Bored and desperately escape, although his subordinates were very strong and discovered his movements. Buggy finally relied on him to swing his arms like a fan, successfully abandoning everyone. But when he arrived at the unfamiliar sea, Buggy discovered that he had nowhere to go, no water to drink, no food to eat, and was eventually kidnapped by a group of pirates who wanted to go to the New World. Wait until the New World, then even more unlucky, the whole New World is in chaos. Revolutions are happening everywhere, and there are no space pirates to survive. The most important thing is, there is a 35,000-meter super elephant, which seems to have gone crazy and started to torment the New World. The pirates who kidnapped Buggy were very unlucky and were sent flying by the elephant's nose. Buggy was extremely unlucky to fall into the territory of the Four Emperors' Big Mom, and moreover, it was the core territory, Cake Island. A run after, Buggy flees to nearby Big Mom. Saw that monster's body was huge. At that time, the Four Emperors were negotiating with someone, but in the end, the negotiations failed. That mysterious person actually broke out in conflict with the Four Emperors. Take it. In the sky, in the sea, on land, everywhere there are Phylongs appearing, lightning, sea turbulence, poison, and all kinds of explosions are distributed in Big Mom's territory. Buggy even saw a bounty of several billion pirates, and was killed on the spot by a flying dragon. Buggy also did not know how he escaped. Anyway, he ran desperately, found the boat and desperately planned, and escaped. Then he got into one and wanted to join Kaido's pirate ship. Just like that return, thinking back to my experience of running away, it was better than staying in Kaido's camp. Nowadays the world is really not safe everywhere. Kaido is coming. Buggy, a subordinate, suddenly spoke at this moment. Captain Buggy, Kaido is here. This is the World King and the World King meeting. Kaido personally came to see Captain Buggy. That's enough to prove that Kaido values Captain Buggy. Buggy, under the followers, once again could not help but exclaim. Since the end of the Summit War, everyone has not seen Kaido. Only the Four Emperors and the top-tier navy can enter and exit Kaido's place on land. The last time there was a strong person named Isho. It was said that his strength was not inferior to that of a general, and he was also qualified to see Kaido, and it was Isho who took the initiative to meet Kaido. Kaido now takes the initiative to meet Captain Buggy. Great Buggy, Captain Importance. Still need more words, eh? Buggy, startled and looked over at Kaido's figure, also did not think. My reputation will change for the better like this. Before that, he abandoned all his followers and desperately ran away. Buggy thought that his reputation had fallen to the ground and completely collapsed. When he returned, he only thought that being able to keep his life was enough. He didn't dare to want anything else, but he didn't think that after escaping for a trip and returning, his fame would only increase, and his pursuers would worship him more and more. It was truly unimaginable, like a dream. But now Kaido even took the initiative to meet me. Kaido. Buggy just looked at the exaggerated figure in front of him, and was scared in his heart. Tell me something about Big Mom, Kaido said. Many people here are talking nonsense. We have no place to talk. I heard Charlotte Lin and the Celestial Dragon have to cooperate. Buggy understood that the information related to Charlotte Lin must have some secrets inside. It's not convenient for too many people to know, so it's better to talk alone. Captain Buggy and Kaido are completely equal in relationship. That's for sure. Captain Buggy has strength that is not inferior to, or even surpasses Kaido's. Wow, so awesome. The followers looked over in admiration. Captain Buggy's back. Alone together later, Buggy recounted everything he saw from beginning to end. So many flying dragons destroyed Charlotte Lin's kingdom. She herself also went to war with a mysterious expert. Kaido immediately stood up and left. I knew he wouldn't cooperate with the Celestial Dragons. I guess the Celestial Dragons also knew about this. So from the very beginning, he did it if the cooperation failed. He was prepared to deal with Charlotte Lin. Kaido, what is it, in such a hurry? Sengoku asked. If Thien Long Non attacks Charlotte Lin, he might die, Kaido said. She has a traffic sign in her hand. If this traffic sign is stolen by the celestial dragons, it will be very difficult for us to find Raftel again. What, you better not go alone. If a celestial dragon wants to kill us for emperors, he must be completely prepared. The other side has probably become a trap now. Sengoku said, most likely the trap has been prepared. Just waiting for you to take the bait. Let's gather all our forces and go together. No problem. I can handle it myself. Kaido shook his head and said, you guys stay and take good care of the headquarters. What I'm most worried about is the headquarters being destroyed by the celestial dragons, which will affect our reputation in the entire world. The headquarters is lost anyway. Even if there is no real damage, it will still hit countless people's confidence, which is very disadvantageous to us. The world maintains Kaido. Because of trust, the world no longer supports Kaido. It will also be because of trust. So trust is very important. This place is already the headquarters of the United Army in countless people's hearts, and is one of the pillars of confidence in the world. If this place is destroyed, it will be difficult to rebuild confidence. Is that really possible? Are you sure you can handle Big Mom's situation alone? Sengoku was still worried. The celestial dragons must have expected that you would have gone to reinforce them. Preparations definitely won't be lacking. Protect the headquarters well. Kaido did not say much, just gave another order, then turned and left. Hearing that, Sengoku didn't need to say more. Kaido affirmed that he would do so with 10% confidence. Kaido, it's none of my business. Buggy asked with a trembling voice at this moment. I ran away earlier, planning a small boat to escape to this place. It should be considered a traitor's action. Kaido didn't pursue this matter. Right, there's also a relationship with Big Mom's intelligence, so don't ask me any more, okay? Am I already fine? Can I rest assured? It's none of your business, Kaido suddenly said. The next headquarters might be very dangerous. You stay here. Don't run around everywhere. Buggy is still very important, because he followed Roger almost to the Grand Line that year. This kind of person's number is very limited. Keeping them is useful. If the world government took advantage of his departure to sneak attack the headquarters, the nearby headquarters would be in great danger. And if Buggy left the Union Army headquarters and lost the protection of the strong people, he would undoubtedly die. So remind him not to run around everywhere. Stay to save his life. Okay. Good. Buggy was secretly lucky. Without being prosecuted for treasonous acts, I successfully escaped all calamities. So happy, Kaido transformed into Azure Dragon form, entered the clouds, and headed towards Big Mom's territory. The traffic sign in her hand definitely cannot fall into the hands of the celestial dragon. Because no matter what the future holds, I definitely want to go and see the end. There should be no one in the world who doesn't feel curious about Raftel. Have you heard? Buggy's followers at this moment looked at Kaido flying away through the clouds, then looked at each other, shaking, and said, Kaido just said, the next headquarters of the United Front will be in danger. Wants Captain Buggy to stay and protect the headquarters well. The headquarters has red hair, Whitebeard, Sengoku, Garp, Kizaru, Aokiji. There are also the 7 warlords of the sea, and there are also many newly joined great pirates. And there are even people who are no less than generals who have just joined. So many strong people are here, and Kaido only requested Captain Buggy to stay and protect them. What does this mean? It's clear that in Kaido's eyes, Buggy is much more powerful than all the 4 emperors, generals, marshals, and heroes. But Kaido's voice isn't even an order. It's like this. Oh my god. I'm not dreaming, right? Captain Buggy, just how powerful is he? Roger is resurrected, must also chase after Captain Buggy. Blue sky, Captain Buggy. King of the world, king of the world. After the followers had some brainwashing, in their eyes Buggy was no different from the king of the world. Buggy hears dreams. I just like that in the blink of an eye, in the eyes of the entourage. The rank increased again. Ha dot 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 ha dot dot dot. Buggy laughed awkwardly twice, then immediately clenched his fists and coughed, his expression turning cold. We little people, don't be surprised. We haven't seen the world's appearance. You must have a heart, you must be serious. Because you follow, but the king of the world, the great legend, Captain Buggy, ouch 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 ouch. Buggy's followers shouted excitedly dot dot. Red line, in the air. That's Kaido, Azure Dragon Kaido. He flew straight above the red line. There's no need to directly declare war, right? The people standing above the red line were all shaken by the Azure Dragon figures in the clouds. Red line on the cliff, crawling with all kinds of Phylon, white sky Phylon, blue sea Phylon and black dark Phylon. Anyone who thinks of climbing up the red line will be attacked. Even if the development reaches the red line, it will be eaten by the flying dragon that descends from the sky. But now, the Azure Dragon's body was larger than these flying dragons, flying through the clouds. It was even more intimidating. And even more powerful, seeing Kaido countless guards, scared to tremble. It's really Kaido. Azure Dragon Kaido, quickly go notify the higher-ups. Phylon, where is Phylon? Can he defeat Kaido? Kaido really must declare war immediately. The guards were terrified. Lee? The flying dragon group suddenly let out a loud cry. A group of flying dragons seemed to send out a swarm of bats, attacking Kaido in the clouds above. They didn't react just now, if they didn't discover Kaido's whereabouts. This is Phylon. Kaido observed, flying to the flying dragon group, not my mythical dragon, but a group of large bat-winged creatures. Wherever they are called dragon, I change their name to bat or moth. Hot breath, Kaido opened his mouth, boom. Flames fell from the sky, instantly penetrating the flying dragon flock. When the fire burned down nearly half of Phylon, although UFEI dragon escaped, his body was still infected with flames, too weak. Kaido looked at these Phylon. Only Phylon's maximum strength is at the supernova level. A group of them gathered together. They cannot possibly be able to defeat the four emperors. It must be that above these Phylon, there is a special feature, stronger than Phylon. The fire on Phylon's body burned. At this moment, everyone let out miserable screams. Falling from the sky one by one, Kaido could smell the aroma of the grilled meat of the Phylon. The smell wasn't good either, like burned plastic or tree sap. Let's continue to Big Mom's territory. Kaido didn't stay here for long. Red line above, the guards were scared. The flying dragon pack was burned to death by Kaido in one bite. This is almost the total of a gigantic flying dragon swarm. Can completely destroy a kingdom in an extremely short period of time. But with such a large flock of flying dragons, Kaido could open his mouth and lose everything. Do you want to scare people to death, Azure Dragon Kaido? What kind of strength is this? Sanctuary, Marie Ajoie, that Kaido flew over the red line. He wants to go save Big Mom, damn, and conveniently burn to death almost a city of the flying dragon herd. How are the Divine Knights doing? They still haven't finished off Big Mom and gotten her blood. The blood has arrived, and is being brought back right away. Vegapunk has assured us that as long as we give him enough resources, he can copy Big Mom before the war starts, and her strength will not be inferior to her own. The blood has been sent back. Why hasn't the Divine Knights returned yet? Already urged many times, but still no response. They had previously expressed their disdain for Kaido. What do you mean ... double quotes. The Knights of God want to take charge and fight Kaido on Cake Island. Gorosei, after a discussion, suddenly became nervous. The Divine Knights have an extremely high status. Gorosei also needs Im's will to be able to command the Divine Knights to work. If not for the Divine Knights, they would have completely ignored the Gorosei's attitude. Currently, the Big Mom blood harvesting plan has been successfully completed. But the Divine Knights seem to have no intention of returning at the same time. Shut up, sir. Gorosei knelt down one after another. Behind them on the throne, Im appeared. Let them try, I said. The Gorosei all understood what this meant. It was to let the Divine Knights of the Sea try to fight Kaido on Cake Island. Even though it was Im's order, Gorosei had to obey. Still, there was Gorosei, expressing concern. Indeed, we should try once. But Lord Im, if they fail, the next Red Line defense battle might be a little more difficult. Of course, this is completely fixable. How many people have been restored? Currently still in the experimental stage, but can be forced to use. Big Mom will also be able to copy it as soon as possible. Only partially restored, Im asked. That's right. Each of them is extremely powerful. The resources consumed by each person being restored are extremely exaggerated. We hope to try to restore different people as many times as possible. And not to restore the same person twice, Saint Saturn replied. Very appropriate, decisive. Im calmly said, Thien Long Nan's restoration. How is the progress? Hearing this, Saint Saturn's face broke out in sweat as he said, because we are all descendants of the Creator Masters, our physics are special. For the Divine Knights or the 5 of us. All of our replications have failed. For ordinary heavenly dragons, there are currently no successful cases. Long restoration, Im continued to ask. Saint Saturn replied, Ordinary flying dragon, the restoration was successful. But the time and resource costs are higher than normal breeding flying dragon. So there is no way to carry out light capital mass production of flying dragon, can only slowly raise and breed. Dragon King restoration, all failed, ancestor flying dragon. We do not dare to offend, but considering that Dragon King also failed, for ancestor flying dragon restoration experiment obviously has no meaning. So it's just copying a bunch of lowly people. Im calmly said, moreover, he is not the strongest person in history. Over the past few hundred years, there have appeared some people stronger than Rux, Roger, and Garp at that time. We didn't yet possess the technology to replicate, nor did we think about extracting and preserving their blood. I'm very sorry. Gorosei's forehead was covered in sweat, extremely nervous. Busy for more than half a day, the result did not seem to satisfy him. Joy Boy restored, and continued to ask. The ultimate end is failure. Gorosei increased the pressure even more. Joy Boy's remaining blood, just the first round of the test was completely failed. There is absolutely no possibility of replicating. Vegapunk said, after 100 years of specialized research. He still cannot replicate Joy Boy. That is the most special existence. Hearing that, Im said nothing more. He stood up and left. Gorosei's feelings were complicated, not knowing what Lord Im was thinking. Just copying a bunch of commoners, it's not really too much to say. Gorosei sighed. These can copy people. Not because of the effectiveness of the Heavenly Dragon, cooperation is already been captured by the Heavenly Dragon. Their blood was all drawn out and kept, at least some of it. Vegapunk took advantage of these bloodlines, increasing the Heavenly Dragon's input of resources regardless of the price, successfully copied this group of people. Currently still in the process of testing whether it can be used or not. If forced to use it is also possible, this force can become a crucial force when fighting Kaido. Kaido has left the red line in the air. The target is indeed Cake Island. Gorosei is now waiting for news. Lord Im has no further instructions, stating that there is no need to send more forces. I only hope that the Divine Knights have the ability to face and even eliminate Kaido. Do you want to take advantage of the opportunity to sneak attack Kaido's allied army headquarters? Someone suggested it might be possible, but who should we send? Another Gorosei asked. They were silent. The Divine Knights, in ambush for Kaido, Gorose himself to send out. Or send out the replica body that is standing in the experiment, or send FBI along to go. The Allied Army headquarters has Sengoku, Whitebeard, Red Hair these people to guard. Ordinary FBI lone going is meaningless, can only send Dragon King to go, but to mobilize Dragon King, must definitely receive the order secretly. Send some Seraphim to go over to the island and cause trouble. Anyway, those war machines won't be of any use next time, so surrender and go in. Gorose quickly reached a consensus. The most important thing is to wait for the results of the battle between the Divine Knights and Kaido. Hope they can kill Kaido. Gorose anxiously awaits news, can only wait for news. The Divine Knights fought against Kaido at this level. There was no way they could send CP directly. They would be easily crushed to death by the aftershocks of the battle. They could only wait for the results. This isn't Kaido. What Kaido? Where? In the sky. Look at the clouds inside. Fuck, what a big ghost. It's a dragon, in the myth of dragon. It really is the Azure Dragon Kaido. Why is he here? Fuck, what a strong pressure. What is Kaido trying to do? Never mind. We'll know when we join the United Army. Don't delay. Quickly go to the United Army headquarters. Along the road there were many pirates, and a huge shadow was seen in the clouds above. Looking in that direction, isn't he going to find Big Mom? Among the 4 emperors, only he hasn't joined the United Army. ... double quote someone guessed. Cake Island, this place is surrounded by Phylong. Everywhere is a sea of fire. Charlotte Lin and the others were all defeated by now. Among them, the relatively rare races were captured for experimentation, or had some blood drawn. If it was of no value, they would be executed on the spot. As for the 4 emperors themselves, Charlotte Lin was also seriously injured and fell to the ground, gasping for breath. Around her, there were 9 people. However, only 2 people made a move. The remaining 7 people just stood by and watched the show. You guys are the trump card of the Heavenly Dragons. Charlotte Lin, although defeated. But he did not surrender, still very stubborn. 9 other 4 emperors. The Heavenly Dragons are so strong. Why didn't they end the Great Pirate era sooner? Why are they only making a move now? You are wrong. I am stronger than the 4 great emperors. I am not a weakling like the 4 great emperors. An existence that had not made a move from the beginning to the end. Now open its mouth. You lowly people are not qualified for us to make a move. We are divine knights, only obeying the will of God, listening to God's orders. God disdains to control you. We also disdain to make a move. God, you mean there is a living being in this world who can give you divine orders? Charlotte Lin was startled and asked, You don't need to know too much. Phi Garling Saint said coldly. He is the current commander of the Divine Knights. Why don't you kill me now? Charlotte Lin asked, What the hell are you waiting for? Your physique is very special. It would be a pity to kill you. We are preparing to bring you back to be used as an experimental body to completely decode your genes, and from there create endless versions of you. 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, 100,000 big moms. The bunch of losers won't have the courage to resist, right? Garling Saint indifferently said, Of course, Big Mom, you are also trash. Let trash deal with trash is the best choice. Can't let us, these descendants of the host, the knights of the gods, do these trivial things to clean up trash. You crazy people, it is impossible to succeed. Charlotte Lin was angry. Want to imitate him 100,000 times. Just hearing about it makes one shudder. We will use your #1 clone to deal with you. That Charlotte Lin will be 100 times more obedient than you are now. He will replace you and become the real you. He can also come to take over your country's king and pirate crew. Garling Saint also felt bored and spoke a bit more, and moreover, your body will not be as ugly as it is now. It will be your young appearance. Perhaps outside of battle, it will have some other uses. Although the trash body is so disgusting, it can still find some miraculous uses. Charlotte Lin was even more furious. Restored when he was young, even restored 100,000 times. What strange thing would it be, but facing this kind of situation, Charlotte Lin at this moment had no hope of stopping. He basically couldn't beat these people in front of him, suddenly. These divine knights all raised their heads and looked in a certain direction. Kaido, it's finally here. These originally lazy divine knights, at this moment all stood up, also holding weapons in their hands, ready to welcome the enemy, preparing to welcome a great battle. Kaido, Charlotte Lin was shocked. He actually received the news and came to save me, but just him alone, he can't change anything. These divine knights are all terrifyingly strong, the 9 of them working together. No one will be their match. Lee, circling around the kingdom around Phylon, now spread its wings to attack Kaido, hot breath. Kaido repeated his old move, just like at the Red Line, burning all these flying dragons to death. They fell from the sky one by one. These huge disasters in the Tato Land Kingdom killed countless flying dragon cadres. More than half were instantly destroyed. The rest were struggling to die in the flames. There is not even one capable opponent. Kaido's voice now echoed throughout the entire Tato Land Kingdom. What are you sending a bunch of chicks here for? Treat me to grilled chicken wings. I have no interest in eating these ugly low-level species. Saying that the divine flying dragon is a low-level species. Kaido, you really don't know how to live or die. An angry voice rang out on Cake Island. Then Haki covered the entire Tato Land Kingdom, also covers Kaido's body. Oh. Kaido frowned. King-level Heishoku Haki. How rare Heishoku cannot be cultivated. How far it can grow is determined by its innate nature. Heishoku is already rare. Being able to reach the king level is even rarer. Unfortunately, it's too weak for me, Kaido calmly said. Shoot back. Kaido received divine weapons from the reward system. 1 case of counter-injury, 1 case of absorption. The effect of counter-damage is, when the damage is not higher than the self-defense, % counter-damage is returned. Currently Heishoku Haki, only king level. The damage caused was only at the king level. But Kaido's defense is not just a simple king level. So the damage comes later, all damage returns. The 9 gods' knights suddenly received a huge Heishoku pressure. What? Haki damage. Why did you come back? What happened? They all changed color. Boom. The divine knight's position created a large-scale explosion. It seemed to be an effect of them blocking the damage caused by Haki. In the side view, Garling Saint released his Haki and then self-destructed. 1 second later, from this explosion, a streak of golden light shot out. Receiving it, 7 golden lights and 1 black light successively exited from there. Take it, a figure flew into the sky, this figure, with golden hair dancing. His entire body was covered in golden armor, and behind him, there was not only a pair of pure white feathered wings, the wings were even larger than his person, able to completely cover him. It was these wings that supported his flight. In his hand was a red cross sword. His entire body was dazzling golden light. To be able to let me transform, you really have some skills, Kaido. The figure coldly said, Zoan system, Hido no Mi, mythical Zoan, Archangel Michael form. Angel, Kaido was surprised, then the others are ... The other divine knights also followed the golden light and flew into the sky. They also used devil fruit transformation abilities. King of Holy War, strongest angel, Archangel, Michael. Judge of the Apocalypse, Archangel, Gabriel. Hellfire, Archangel, Uller, Healing Angel, Archangel, Raphael. The Angel of Vengeance, Archangel, Regal. Moon's Revenge Angel, Archangel, Suriel. I am the one who avenges the angel, Archangel, Remiyu. Angel Contract, Archangel, Meta Special Dragon. Fallen Angel, King of the Demon World, Lucifer. Full Angel, Kaido was surprised, so. M is a Zoan type, Hido no Mi, mythical Zoan, god form fruit. Sengoku is model, great Buddha, even Buddha has it. Having God is also very normal. Offend the gods. Don't you fear divine punishment, Kaido? Transformed into Michael Garling Saint, this moment spoke in a deep voice, "You are also worthy to be called gods." Kaido glanced at the angels in front of him, then returned his gaze to Garling Saint and said, "A bunch of monsters with wings, I will roast you all. And give your chicken wings to everyone to eat, deal with Kaido." Garling Saint did not say anything more, but gave the order. Immediately countless holy lights condensed in the sky, covered the sky. Cover the whole sky, holy light condensed, like each extremely powerful light cannon. Inside it was ready to explode at any time. Holy angel, seriously injuring a four emperors is no problem. Garling Saint coldly said, and the 9 of us condensing the ultimate angelic holy light can easily kill anyone. Can you withstand it, the divine knights, in order to deal with Kaido? The 9 angels in the form of swords in their hands reached towards the sky. 8 golden lights and 1 black light entered the clouds. Kaido condensed angelic holy light in the sky. The range became larger and larger. The aura also became more and more terrifying. Hot breath. Kaido did not change form, still in azure dragon form, spitting out holy light towards the sky. Holy light descends, Garling Saint shouted. In the sky, the angel's holy light condensed, shooting down a beam of golden and black mixed light, colliding with the hot breath, following a loud noise, to forces held out in the sky. No way, the 9 divine knights were all shocked at this moment. Garling Saint said in disbelief, "The 9 of us joined forces to form the ultimate holy angel. How can we possibly hold out against Kaido's hot breath? Shouldn't we be so reckless and seriously injure Kaido? Just consider it as Rock's resurrection, returning to peak condition." Facing the 9 people united with the ultimate angelic holy light, he could not stop them. He would undoubtedly die. That year at God Valley, there was only Garling Saint, a divine knight, present, and he had not yet eaten the devil fruit at that time, and he and Rox had about the same strength now. After eating the devil fruit, Garling Saint alone could defeat Rox back then, let alone the 9 of them joining forces now. But so strong, maintaining the supreme divine status of absolute power. Right now, he was still holding out against Kaido. Just a struggle was enough to make the divine knight feel like he lost all face, and he was angry from shame. Kaido was also very surprised. My invincible level attack power, releasing hot breath, yet I can still hold my own against this ultimate angelic holy light. Surely the move these 9 people combined to form was already at the invincible level. Really reached the championship, Kaido was very curious, and began to increase the intensity of his hot breath. Think about testing it out. Is the ultimate angelic holy light really invincible? Kaido can still add great force. Garling Saint was even more shocked just now. It wasn't even his full strength. How is this possible? Just how strong is he? Why do I feel something is wrong? Even if the 9 of us join forces, we will still lose. Kaido can't possibly be that strong. He's only a Yonko, and the weakest of us are all at the Yonko level. And several of us have surpassed the Yonko. How can we join forces and not be able to defeat AKIDO ... double quotes. We also increase the force, the divine knights roared softly, and in their hands they stretched out the Kong swords towards the sky, releasing even more power, making the golden light that charged into the sky even larger, more dazzling, and more powerful. The ultimate angelic holy light power also increased greatly. Escaping from Kaido's recent increase in strength, he once again became on par with Kaido's hot breath, disgusting, yet balanced. The 9 of us together, we didn't get a single benefit. Kaido is equivalent to the 9 of us combined. Impossible. How could a lower species have this kind of potential ... This is almost approaching the level of a god. There must be a reason. We must believe. If we continue to struggle, we will definitely win. The divine knights were all flustered, so they began to comfort themselves and deceive themselves. Cake Island, Kaido this guy ... Charlotte Len, looking at the scene in the sky, could not believe it. Such a strong 9 people. Together they are actually on par with Kaido. When did Kaido come along and become so much stronger? He couldn't help but recall the first time he met Kaido that year. At that time Kaido was still a young boy. I expressed my desire to protect Kaido. At God Valley, when Kaido was beaten to the point of being in a terrible state, he fought with the celestial dragons to snatch the azure dragon fruit that was given to Kaido. The past was clearly before his eyes. I never thought Kaido would grow up to this extent without realizing it. Has become so powerful, completely breaking my own perception. No wonder this guy can unite a Whitebeard, red hair and the entire navy to resist the celestial dragons. If I can survive, I also want to join. If not for anything else, then just to beat up the celestial dragons and take revenge. In the sky, Kaido and the 9 divine knights' struggle ended. With Kaido's hot breath he crushed the ultimate holy angel's light. After the holy angel's light was shattered, the backlash returned to the soul knight's body. The 9 divine knights received more or less damage, but overall, the impact was not great, mainly affecting their mental aspect. The ultimate angelic holy light was destroyed. We lost. None of them can accept this fact. 9 people combined their great moves, but could not defeat one Kaido, not very strong either. Kaido looked towards these 9 angels. Although the group is indeed very strong, their attack power is not truly invincible, and is a bit lacking in the end. If we say that Akainu had previously awakened the fruit to its limit, its attack power would be close to invincible, equivalent to a percentage approaching invincibility. Just a few people attacked, and it was percent close, basically can be considered as champion. But in the end, just a little bit less like this, just a little bit like this, is not considered a true champion, and will eventually lose to Kaido. Show your moves. Okay, there is no solution. If this move still doesn't work, then we really won't be able to hold Kaido at that time. I'm afraid we can only run away. The 9 divine knights simply discussed and reached a consensus. They put their swords in front of their chests and closed their eyes. Their hair danced wildly, and their wings completely covered their bodies. The golden light continuously charged towards the sky. The golden light became more and more dazzling. They all turned into light, and 8 golden rays of light and 1 black light also merged from the sky. As time passed, the place where the light was condensed into a sword. A black sword beside a golden sword of light. In the sky was much larger than an island, the sword of the holy talent. This sword's momentum is terrifying, possessing greater power and momentum than the ultimate angel's holy light. The tip of the sword seems to be able to cut the sky, cut the void, cut all things, stabbing towards Kaido. The closer this holy sword gets to the ground, the more one can see its enormousness. It was as if a giant planetary giant was standing outside the world, stabbing down with a sword. The holy sword of wealth is extremely ostentatious. This sword, compared to Zunisha, is it much bigger? Kaido was shocked. Just now it condensed in the extremely high sky, but it didn't feel that big. The closer it got to the ground, the bigger it appeared. No wonder Zunisha became so obedient after Joy Boy died. Let it move all its life without stopping. It just moves, honestly like that, not daring to resist. It turns out that the heavenly dragon really holds such an exaggerated power. This is the ultimate move of the divine knights. Kaido took a deep breath and welcomed it. I want to see how strong it is. Gear. Rubber Saint Sword Cutter. Reverse damage. Absorb. Kaido uses his second devil fruit, the Nika Fruit Force. This is the world's most changeable, most chaotic devil fruit. His greatest characteristic is that he can do almost anything. Using the power of Nika Fruit, Kaido also imitated a holy sword, Haki Cover. Also got to divine artifacts from the system. Let's see who has the stronger holy sword. It was as if from deep within the earth. A holy sword that could cut through the ocean and the earth had come out. From Kaido's side, from tail to head, it welcomed the holy sword of talent in the sky, another holy sword. Kaido also knows this move. No, he can't possibly. That's imitation. How to imitate? That is ... single quotes, awakening Nika fruit. And it has developed to an extremely exaggerated state. What, Nika fruit? The divine knights were all terrified. Before coming, no one said, Kaido has Nika fruit and has awakened. This is completely unexpected, not in accordance with common sense. Knowing that Kaido has Nika fruit and has already deeply awakened, even if beaten to death they wouldn't dare come. Outsiders do not understand Nika fruit. How can the divine knights not understand? That your Joy Boy fought against 20 kings. Just rely on Nika fruit. Hit 20. Those 20 kings, who were the strongest 20 people at that time, were still beaten up in front of Joy Boy. Finally, Lord M unleashed his divine power and took out Joy Boy. If it was a one-on-one match, M would not be Joy Boy's opponent. That is the world's most terrifying, most dangerous, most likely to break the heavenly dragon's domination fruit. The result is that Kaido now appears in front of them, awakening the Nika fruit. Moreover, it is not just awakening that kind. The depths have awakened ... Knowing it would be like this, the divine knights immediately left after defeating Big Mom. Where would they dare stay to fight Kaido? Don't panic, Garling Saint. At this moment, roared softly and said, Don't be scared by the legend of Joy Boy. Joy Boy said so much. He is just a loser from 800 years ago. A loser. What is there to be afraid of? Don't say he just awakened the Nika fruit. Even if he was the Joy Boy from back then, he wouldn't be afraid of anything. We are divine knights. We shouldn't be afraid of a loser who has long since failed. Listen, the other divine knights more or less sobered up. That's right, if Joy Boy was really that formidable, how could he have lost back then? In the end, he was just a loser, someone who was afraid of failure, too much of a disgrace to the Knights of the Gods. Destroy his simulated holy sword and nail Kaido to the bottom of the sea, Garling Saint, roaring. All the divine knights, all exerted their maximum strength. The holy sword of wealth, even more majestic, descended from the sky. Kaido used the Nika fruit to imitate the holy sword of fortune, stabbing upwards from the surface of the sea. The two holy swords, in midair, collided with each other. The place where the sword tip collided was quiet for a moment. Countless white, golden, and black lightning bolts erupted from the place of impact, filling the entire sky and spreading to the horizon. In the sky where there is hope, all kinds of lightning are spreading. Hold on, hold on, hold on again. The divine knight looked at the progress, his expression gradually changing. The holy sword of wealth was already their strongest move, gathering all the strength of the 9 divine knights. But in the end it was only a stalemate. Why is it like this? Garling Saint found it hard to accept. Kaido is clearly just imitating the holy sword of talent. Why is he matching the real holy sword of talent with the 9 of us? What is the reason for that? That Kaido guy, how strong is he? Can you provide more force? Garling Saint asked loudly. I have done my best. Impossible. The current stalemate is already my greatest limit. The remaining divine knights' answers all disappointed Garling Saint himself. Also unable to repeat providing more force, all done, to the limit. Damn it, can we only drag this out and wait for the results? ... Double quotes. Garling Saint gritted his teeth. They were all sweating on their foreheads. The body slowly began to tremble. The whole body was filled with golden light, like short lines, flashing and flickering, unstable. Of course there will be no more stalemate. Kaido's voice rang out at this moment. You guys used all your strength, and I didn't even exert any force. What? The divine knights felt like they fell into an ice cave. Real or fake? Kaido, shut your mouth. Stop talking nonsense and disturbing us. Garling Saint angrily said, You think I can't see it? You have already reached your limit. You will immediately collapse and die. In fact, he couldn't see it at all. He was just making a unilateral guess. Based on the fact that the 9 of them together were so strong that they had reached their limit, Kaido had no reason for one person to be far stronger than the 9 of them. Flying dragon. Garling Saint suddenly shouted loudly, "Is there still a flying dragon? Go attack Kaido." His current strength has reached its limit. There is no way to consume more. If we launch any attack on him now, he will collapse, Totoland Kingdom inside. There were really more than 10 flying dragons, at this moment rising up into the sky. Kaido's hot breath previously burned to death the vast majority of the flying dragons, but in the end not all of them were burned to death. The remaining flying dragons were called out by Garling Saint. And there's Fai Long, to good. The Divine Knights were very excited at this moment. Quick, go kill Kaido. Garling Saint was also extremely excited. He didn't think that there was really a lucky surviving Fai Long. He hurriedly gave orders at this moment. These dozen or so flying dragons flew towards Kaido. The Divine Knights excitedly watched the flying dragons' movements. Go. Approach Kaido. Kaido must have reached his limit and must die immediately. Fai Long is getting closer and closer. Kaido extended a hand, extending it infinitely outward. Rubber is sharp. Kaido's hand transformed into a pot with a sharp lid. More than 10 flying dragons were instantly put into the pot. Right after that, waves of oil, smoke, and aroma filled the pot. Rubber grilled chicken. Kaido raised his hand and waved it. More than 10 fully ripe flying dragons were scattered and charged towards the Divine Knights group. Kaido hasn't reached his limit. He still has power. The Divine Knights were terrified at the moment, desperate. They considered Kaido to be the limit. As a result, he had the full strength to deal with Fai Long. One side has been exhausted to the limit, one way no. So this battle's victory or defeat, although not yet determined, everyone can already predict the result. We completely lost. Kaido, win. The Divine Knights fell into deep despair. The familiar Fai Long color hit the Divine Knights on the body. They painfully resisted the Holy Sword, so there was no way to escape. But it was Fai Long who hit them. This was a very small injury. Again become overwhelming camel last blade of grass, the body was completely consumed, and receiving another point of damage caused the collective strength of the Divine Knights to collapse. In the sky, the Holy Sword of Talent shattered with a loud bang. Kaido, the Holy Sword of Fortune, wins. Wow! The Divine Knights all changed their expressions at this moment, spitting out large mouthfuls of fresh blood. I haven't had time to use damage reflection and absorption yet. Kaido looked at this scene and shook his head. To be clear, the Holy Sword of Talent has not yet reached the invincible level. And my strength is above invincible, and with the addition of the Gearnica fruit's strength, I defeated them as expected. Catching it, Kaido waved his arm. Sword of the Holy Talent, cut. Take the Holy Sword and slash at the Divine Knights. The Divine Knights were even more shocked and desperate. In a short period of time, they used a large number of moves to attack Kaido's Holy Sword, but it was like hitting a rock with an egg. Kaido, finally, these guys fell into deep despair. With no way to stop the Divine Knights, they almost went crazy screaming Kaido's name. Like this, at first glance, one knows that one must die without a doubt, but is extremely unwilling. Can only scream meaninglessly, powerlessly furious. The Holy Sword of Wealth, completely slashed down. The light is extremely dazzling. Kill a member of the God Knights branch quest, completed. Check to destroy the Divine Knights, get extra rewards. The 2 branch mission rewards have been added to the books and can be claimed at any time. Reminder. The main quest rewards have been accumulated to 3 parts and can be combined into an invincible gift package at any time. Open the branch quest reward. Kaido was immediately filled with anticipation to use the reward. The reward from killing a great general and the legendary branch was already extremely rich. Now it should be able to make Kaido even more supermodel. The reward has been opened. Reward, Break Room. Devil Fruit Free Gift Wrapping X, Devil Fruit Hole Plus. Devil Fruit Upgrade Card X, choose any ancient weapon X. Kaido can eat 5 devil fruits again, still the temporary choice is not to use it. Wait to confirm what kind of devil fruit is especially good, then use it later. For example, this time when he fought with the Divine Knights, he realized that there were still so many types of devil fruits. Previously, Kaido had no idea that these fruits existed, although it is possible to see the complete devil fruit diagram from the gift package inside. But let's take Gabriel's devil fruit form as an example. Without seeing the effects with his own eyes, just looking at the name, Kaido would definitely feel that this fruit is very strong. This is the legendary Archangel Actual Contact down to, immediately discovered this fruit is weak to explode. What trash fruit, so even though Kaido can see the complete devil fruit. Which one is more powerful is not clear. Wait until I meet this Nika fruit later, it's definitely a very powerful fruit. Then I'll choose again, ancient weapons, you can choose 3 at will. Add the previous chance to choose, I can choose for ancient weapons. Meaning, ancient weapons can appear repeatedly, also. For example, the Hades, as long as the materials are sufficient, it should be able to be created infinitely. It also doesn't say that each ancient weapon can only appear once. The most important thing is still the Room Breaker. Defense Break. When attack power is higher than opponent's defense power, opponent loses all defense. When attack power is lower than opponent's defense power, opponent loses % defense. Lost all defenses. Kaido saw this effect and couldn't help but be startled. What I mean is, a king-level defensive person, after being attacked by me, the opponent's defense will be reduced to 0, to the point that any weak person can be injured. If the opponent's defense is higher than Kaido's, they will also lose % defense. The advantages go without saying. Kaido's fighting power suddenly increased greatly, because the God Knights group obtained 2 rewards. Kaido now opens the second part of the branch mission rewards. The reward has been opened. Reward, Resurrection. Devil Fruit Free Gift Wrapping X. Devil Fruit Hole Plus, Devil Fruit Upgrade Card X. Ancient Weapons Random Selection X. Other than that, Kaido can now eat many years of fruit. A total of 7 ancient weapons can be summoned. Resurrection, Peak Vitality is effective. Peak Life, resurrect once every second. King Level Life, resurrects once every second. Invincible Life, resurrect once every second. After resurrection, all statuses are restored to peak. Kaido was surprised. If you have invincible life, as long as you don't die twice in the same second, you can have unlimited resurrection. But if a powerful person comes and can deal with 2 invincible lives in a split second, then resurrection won't have time to take effect. Absolute immortality is not considered. Kaido judge, but also basically immortal, reward system, 1 time more amazing. Consider the main reward. Kaido continues to use the bounty. The main reward, Kaido has failed to accept it 3 times. Because before there was a system reminder, informing me of the 3 main rewards, I could combine them into 1 champion gift package, and of course I would get the champion reward. Having an absolute measure to support the invincible value, Kaido naturally patiently waited for the 3 main rewards to be combined. Time flies so fast, finally, I had to endure it. The ultimate gift package, Kaido thought to himself. Champion gift package, compilation successful. Use, the champion gift package has been opened. Obtained, Invincible Strength Upgrade Card X. Full Power Champion Experience Card X. Kaido could not help but be surprised. Carefully consider getting the reward, Invincible Strength Upgrade Card. After use, a random ability will reach the invincible level. All ability Invincible Experience Card. All of one's abilities have reached the invincible level. If one has the ability to reach the invincible level, then duplicate it as Invincible X. Experience card continues time, days, card trial date. Kaido was surprised. Is it because the poor game one played before was too cruel? I thought it was a minute, a clock. It was called an experience card, but in fact it was a day. It was called an experience card. This experience card is enough for me to completely overthrow the heavenly dragons. All-round invincibility. Just thinking about it is terrifying. But my attack power is already invincible. Using it later will be invincible X. I wonder how terrifying it will be. Kaido is in a good mood. Use the champion strength card to upgrade. Kaido couldn't wait. Hela Shokuhaki, invincible. Defensive power, invincible. Kaido was immediately overjoyed. Invincible defense, but with Kaido's current extensive knowledge, he was still extremely excited at this moment. Invincible defense means Kaido's damage reflection ability can be fully utilized. All attack power is not higher than Kaido's attack defense power. All damage is reflected back. Kaido stood there and let people hit him. Others like suicide is no different. But if you reuse the experience card, the defense power reaches invincible X. I beat him. I don't need to do anything. I just need to stand there and let him hit me. In just a moment and will kill himself. Although half opening a bottle of champagne is not appropriate ... double quotes, Kaido silently pondered. But now that it's increased, it's hard not to open half a round of champagne, right? Or open another one, sober up a bit, and really take your opponent seriously, quietly excited for a while. Kaido's eyes returned to the battlefield. Landing on Cake Island above, Kaido saw several crippled bodies. Among them were the crippled bodies, vaguely recognizable. Kaido recognized one inside. It was the commander of the Divine Knight Order, Garland, Garling Saint. Bring his head back and announce to the world that the Divine Knights have been destroyed by our group. Kaido thought to himself, give the reputation of the celestial dragons, create a serious blow. After a few days, the Great Pirate Era ends. Completely unite the world's forces can unite. Then officially declare war with the celestial dragons. Explode the red line, kill to the Holy Land. The all-power invincible experience card also at this time start to be used originally. We had to wait for the ancient weapons of the Sea King and Hades. Then Kaido used the Heavenly King to gather the 3 great ancient weapons and attack. Now that I can summon 7 ancient weapons ahead of time, I don't need to wait. Old lady, don't die. Kaido searched for Big Mom's figure. If you don't die, join me. I killed the Knights of God and saved you. I have done you a great favor. You must join me. Of course, you want to show your sincerity by joining me. Give me the map to Raftel. That thing hasn't been lost, right? You still talk like that. Kaido Big Mom's voice, at this moment, rang out. Red line, Holy Land, Mariejwa. Divine Knights, contact is not possible. Gorosei's face, all gloomy.